Have you ever wondered what happens to your recycling? In today's video, I'm going to show you what happens as a small company, what we're doing to develop a recycling program that will compete with the national guys. So we're going to get in it today, not only how we do it, but the economics behind it, whether it's going to work or not. Welcome to the video. So if you've been following my channel, you would know that recently we started learning about recycling. We decided to launch a recycling program at our garbage business. Part of the problem going into this is most companies, they have a hard time getting into recycling because you have to take your recycling to a recycling center normally owned by one of the big companies like Waste Management, something like that. And the fees to dump recycling in my area at least are actually higher than the landfill fees. So unless you pick up a city contract, a big HOA, something like that, it makes it very hard to get into for little guys like us. We're gonna go out to our sorting center, then I'm gonna come back here, show you on my laptop what I was working on, the numbers behind it, and we're gonna find out if this program is working or not. So we're here, and this is the area we've designated for our recycling sorting area. And we brought the truck in a couple of days ago because we were getting a lot of rain, and a lot of the cardboard was a little bit wet, so I dumped it a couple of days ago to let it dry. But we dumped everything here. We have all these dumpsters, these 6-yard dumpsters in place, and the idea is that we're going to put cardboard in one, and cans in one, and plastic in one, and all that, and sort it all out. So what we're going to do now is we're going to record the whole thing, and we're going to time it to see how long it takes us to do this, because eventually we would like to try and do roll-offs and everything, and I can extrapolate that information out to get a pretty good baseline of how this is going to work. So right now we're going to sort this out, and then we'll see where we're at. Alrighty, so 3 hours and 39 minutes later. Probably could have done it faster, but we did get it sorted. We ended up with, that's a 6-yard full of cardboard, and here's a 6-yard that just has a little bit of plastics 337 in it, and here's a 6-yard that's probably halfway full of plastics 1 through 3. Here's another 6-yard that's full of cardboard, about halfway full. And then we got a wee little bit of cans, about a 96-gallon full of trash, a little bit of tin, and some paper. Probably got about 80% yield, which I think if it hadn't rained, we probably would have got in the 90s. But I'm happy with 80 for the first time around. I think next time we'll get better. So I'm gonna go back to my laptop and put some of these numbers into a spreadsheet and kind of extrapolate out the labor and see what I end up with for a cost basis. Okay, so that was our sorting center. We learned a lot. This was our first time sorting. We started our program back 1st of April, and we've been signing up people for the program, but we haven't had enough that we've had to dump at this point. So this was the first time sorting it. One of the things I'll say right off is we got a lot of rain. We got probably 8 to 10 inches of rain in the last month or so. So water just wrecks a lot of these products, like the cardboards and the paper. I'm not 100% sure that a lot of those are going to pass the test to be recycled. So when I go the first time, I'm going to show them the stuff that I'm concerned about. That's a problem that isn't normally going to be there. I'm not going to normally be dealing with rain, right? The thing we learned is about halfway through sorting this, I had the bright idea to go get the skid steer and spread it all out. I don't know why I didn't think about that going into it, but once I spread it out, it was much easier to just go through and like see what was there instead of having to kind of go through a pile and you get what's right in front of you. Once we did that, we just tried to go through and get the cardboard first because it was the biggest, and then next we, went to bottles, like plastic bottles and jugs and things like that. Then you get down to your tin cans, your aluminum cans, and then finally your small pieces of plastic. The interesting thing, I don't think most people really kind of understand this, but when you put recycling into any waste hauler's bin, they're not actually recycling. What they're doing is sorting it. So the way this works is they dump the single stream out, and the cans go one direction, the cardboard goes one direction, the plastic goes one direction, and then from there they bale it up and they take it to the end user, like the cardboard mill or somebody that's going to reuse that product instead of putting it into a landfill. So all we're really doing is running a logistics operation where we separate different things and then transport it on to the end user. So we can look at the numbers. These numbers, these are based on me eyeballing what we had before and after it was sorted. And there's some estimations, but I'll show you what I'm thinking. We dumped about 5 to 6 yards of compacted material on our sorting floor. It looked to me like about 10 to 12 yards once it kind of spread out and uncompacted a little bit. And you can see the different 6-yard dumpsters I had and how full they were. And maybe you agree with me, maybe you don't. We had one whole dumpster of cardboard and then like half of a dumpster of cardboard. So that right there is, 8, 9 yards, whatever. But anyway, I figure about 12 yards of total material. I think about 45% of that was cardboard. It might have been a little higher, but I think 45% is fair. Cardboard in our area baled is worth about $95 a ton. And the conversion, I got online and found a conversion table where you convert yards to weight. So I converted that. I also put in 4 hours for the sort time because I left a little extra time to bale it. Like what we got, the yield we got, when you look at the bottles, the plastics, the cans, all that stuff, it's only gonna have to be baled, every few months. The cardboard's gonna have to be baled probably every 3rd or 4th time we sort. So I put a little extra time for that. And we have 2 employees. But when I go through in the plastic, I figured plastics 1 through 3, these are bottles, your jugs. I put in $10 for the value, $10 per ton. I think it's a little higher than that, but I'm trying to be conservative. But even with that, it only added up to $3. And then plastics 4 through 7, I don't think there's any value there. We're gonna haul that on to a recycling center that will take it for free and be done with it. 10, I put $10, but you may go quite a while before you ever get enough tin to put together enough to sell. The aluminum, $4 of aluminum in those cans, so it's not a big contributor. The big deal is cardboard, right? And it's a good thing because like the Amazon effect, like everybody in the world is ordering all kinds of stuff all the time. So when I put all that together, it's about $140 of value from what we got out of the recycling, right? And then, like I said, the labor, $15 an hour, 4 hours, 2 people, that's about $120. The net between the revenue and the cost, it's about $20. This doesn't account for all your other stuff, like, if these were full-time employees and they were offered benefits, right? Like that would obviously affect that. It doesn't account for the electricity in the sorting center, which I think we had a light on. It wouldn't be much, but it doesn't account for that. It doesn't account for overhead or insurance on the facility or any of that stuff, right? All that is paid for with my normal operation, so it's kind of negligible, but you know, this is about a break even. Our goal when we started this program was not to make a bunch of money. It was to be more competitive and do what was right as a company. The other piece of this is the actual routes. We have a driver out. They're out picking up recyclables. There's a cost to that. There's diesel in the truck, right? Right now, the routes, they only have a handful of people on them. We've only been running these routes 6 or 8 weeks, but my hope is that we have a 10 to 15% participation rate. This is rural areas, so I expect participation rates to be low, but I think we'll get there. You know, we're only talking like 25, 30 people a day on these routes, so it's not a huge number to get to. We can get there. I think people want this in the future, and I mean, I think it'll work, but the cost that we're charging the customer to be on the route, hopefully we'll end up covering the driver, the diesel, all that stuff. Then the cost we get from the product will cover the cost of the labor to sort it. For right now, if we can just get as close to zero as possible, I think that will be a huge win for us. So that's kind of how the whole thing fits together. In a nutshell, we go out and we pick it up, we bring it in, we sort it, then we take the products and we sell them to the end user that's going to actually recycle the stuff. And we have a program, right? It's looking like this is going to work. There's still a lot of work to be done, but that's kind of the video. If you like these things, please like, share, subscribe to it, so that I have the drive to keep going with them. I'm going to put out a new video every Sunday, so we'll see you next time.